I want you to picture a vintage muscle car. Let's say a 1969 Mustang. When that machine was brand new, you could run it hard, feed it cheap gas, and completely ignore the maintenance. It would still roar. But as that masterpiece crosses the 60-year mark, the rules of the game change. You don't just top it off with cheap fuel and ignore the engine knocking. You treat it with respect. You use premium oil. You listen to the engine. Because you know that with the exact right care, that classic machine is not just old, it is vastly more powerful, more valuable, and way more impressive than the cheap, fragile plastic models rolling off the assembly line today. Your body is that classic machine. But right now, for a lot of you watching this, the check engine light is flashing on your dashboard. You can feel it. You wake up and that raw morning vitality you had in your 30s is just gone. You look in the mirror and the midsection is getting softer and thicker, even though you are eating the exact same way you always have. Your joints click and ache when you get out of bed, and a tough workout leaves you sore for days instead of hours. The world, and probably even your doctor, will tell you that this is just what happens when a man gets older. They tell you to accept the decline. They hand you a prescription pad, tell you to take your daily pills, and suggest you get comfortable in a recliner. I am here to tell you right now that they are lying to you. What you are experiencing is not a breakdown of the machine. You have not lost your edge. You simply have a fuel injection problem. After you cross 60, your biology fundamentally shifts. Your engine simply does not process fuel the way it used to. Specifically, your tolerance for glucose and your sensitivity to insulin fall off a cliff. And something even more alarming is happening behind the scenes. That stubborn belly fat you cannot seem to lose is not just dead weight. It acts like a toxic factory. It literally starts converting your hard-earned testosterone into estrogen. Yes, the female hormone. That is the exact chemical process that kills your drive, drains your aggression, and softens your physique. So, if you keep fueling your body with the high-carbohydrate, hidden sugar diet of the modern world, you are essentially pouring pure, liquid sugar straight into a vulnerable gas tank. The engine knocks, the pipes rust. In biology, we call this rust inflammation and glycation. It is a brutal process where sugar molecules bond to your proteins and literally cook your tissues from the inside out. This is the exact mechanism that makes your arteries stiff, your joints painful, and your mind cloudy. But here is the absolute best news you will hear today. You are the mechanic. You can strip down this engine and rebuild it while it is still running. We are about to implement a strict, powerful protocol of 8 specific biohack foods. These are not just healthy snacks. These are zero-carbohydrate, zero-sugar tools scientifically designed to drop your insulin, scrub out the rust, detoxify that excess estrogen, and reignite your natural testosterone production. Let's open the toolbox. We start with the foundation, the plumbing. If you want better pumps in the gym, and you want to wake up with that morning vitality you had in your 30s, you need blood flow. This is why food number 1 is leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard. I know it is not the most exciting thing on your plate, but listen to the biochemistry. These greens are packed with nitrates. When you chew them, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the molecule that dilates your blood vessels. It opens up the highways. Think of your arteries like an old garden hose. Over time, they get stiff and calcified. Nitric oxide relaxes that hose, allowing full pressure without the strain. It is the ultimate accelerator for blood flow. But flow means absolutely nothing if the wiring is bad and the factory is shut down. This brings us to food number 2, whole eggs. For 40 years, the medical establishment lied to us. They told us to throw away the yolk. That was a disaster for men. The yolk is exactly where the gold is. It contains cholesterol, which is the raw material your body uses to manufacture testosterone. If you starve your body of healthy fats, you are intentionally shutting down your own hormone production factory. Beyond the hormones, eggs are the ultimate brain fuel. They are rich in a nutrient called choline. Think of your brain like a complex electrical grid. Choline is the insulation on those wires. It keeps the signals sharp, so you do not walk into a room and forget why you were there. Now we have to rebuild the physical structure of that brain and fight off the inflammation. Food number 3 is fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Your cell membranes are entirely made of fat. If you eat trash industrial oils, those membranes become stiff like cheap plastic. Nutrients cannot get in, and waste cannot get out. The omega-3 fatty acids in fish replace that stiff plastic with high-quality, flexible material. Your cells become fluid again. This is incredibly critical for your brain, which is 60% fat. If you do not feed it good fat, the memory center literally begins to shrink. Fatty fish provides the exact raw material to rebuild that gray matter and keep your mind aggressive and sharp. Finally, for this first phase, we have to deal with that toxic estrogen we talked about earlier. We need an internal cleaning crew. Food number 4 is cruciferous vegetables. We are talking about broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. These are not just side dishes, they are pharmacological tools. They contain powerful compounds called sulforaphane and DIM. These compounds go straight to your liver and help it process and excrete that excess estrogen that is causing you to store stubborn belly fat. Think of them as the scrubbers for your endocrine system. If you want to keep your testosterone free, active, and dominant, you need to be eating these vegetables to flush the estrogen out of your system. Gemini said, "Now how do you actually absorb all of these powerful nutrients, especially if you are actively fasting or cutting out the junk?" This brings us to the ultimate metabolic cheat code. Food number 5 is avocados. If you eat a salad with fat-free dressing, you are literally flushing vital nutrients down the drain. Avocados are packed with healthy fats that pull vitamins A, D, E, and K straight into your system. Plus, they are loaded with potassium. They actually have way more potassium than bananas. Potassium is the vital electrolyte that stops the headaches, the shakes, and the weakness when your body is adapting to burning fat instead of sugar. It keeps your engine running smooth. Speaking of running smoothly, let us talk about that brutal crash at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The moment your eyelids get heavy and you lose all your drive. To fix this, we bring in food number 6, nuts and seeds. But I want to specifically highlight pumpkin seeds for the men watching this. Pumpkin seeds are an absolute gold mine of zinc. And zinc is the ultimate shield of armor for your prostate and your testosterone production. If you are a man over 50, protecting your prostate is not a joke. It is a daily priority. Pair those with almonds, which are packed with magnesium. Magnesium is the spark plug of your metabolism. It stops those midnight leg cramps and puts you into a deep restorative sleep. Now we have to address the chassis, the joints that crack and pop every time you stand up. You need a biological lubricant. Food number 7 is extra virgin olive oil. Throw away those toxic, highly processed vegetable oils immediately. Real olive oil contains a compound called oleocanthal. Science shows that oleocanthal targets the exact same pain pathways in your body as ibuprofen. It is a natural painkiller. It lubricates your stiff joints and keeps your arteries soft and flexible, so they can handle the heavy pressure of a strong heartbeat without cracking or blowing out. Finally, we arrive at food number 8, the traffic cop for your skeleton. Aged cheese. I am talking about Parmesan, Pecorino, and aged cheddar. A lot of guys avoid dairy, but aged cheese is virtually zero carbohydrate and contains a secret biohacking weapon, vitamin K2. When you take a calcium supplement, that calcium is blind. It does not know where to go. It floats around and builds up as hard, dangerous plaque inside your arteries. Vitamin K2 grabs that calcium by the collar and forces it directly into your bones. It strengthens your frame and keeps your arteries clear. Plus, the dense fat and protein will instantly shut down those late-night hunger cravings. These 8 foods are your toolkit. This is not some temporary diet you do for a month and then quit. This is a permanent protocol. This is you actively choosing the absolute best raw materials to rebuild your machine from the ground up. I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself 5 years from now. If you do nothing, If you keep eating the hidden sugars and the cheap processed grains, where are you? You are probably slower, dealing with a new stack of prescriptions and watching life pass you by from the sidelines. Now imagine you execute this protocol. In 5 years, you are the man in the doctor's office with the blood work of a 40-year-old. You are the grandfather who actually races his grandkids in the yard instead of just watching them from a chair. You kept your strength and your independence because you had the discipline to choose high-performance fuel over cheap filler. You do not have to be completely perfect tomorrow morning. Just pick one thing. Start with the eggs. Add the olive oil. Cut out the morning toast. Discipline is just a series of small, powerful choices made consistently. You are the driver of this machine. Stop letting it rust. Take the wheel and drive it. If you are ready to take absolute control of your physiology right now, drop a comment below and tell me your protocol. Are you fasting? Let the other men in this community know what works for you. Hit that like button, not for the algorithm, but as a hard commitment to your own discipline. Subscribe to the channel for more raw, science-backed truth on longevity. I will see you in the next video. Before we wrap up, I have one final bonus rule for the men who are truly serious about taking back their health. It is not just about what you put in the tank, it is about when you fuel up. If you take these 8 biohacking foods and strictly eat them within a tight 6 or 8 hour window, you will amplify your results massively. We call this intermittent fasting. When you give your digestion a break for 16 hours, your body stops processing food and starts repairing the machine. It hunts down the weak, damaged cells and destroys them through a process called autophagy. Pair that deep cellular cleanup with the high-octane fuel of whole eggs, olive oil, and fatty fish, and you become virtually unstoppable. So here is your mission for this week. Do not overthink it. Do not try to be a perfectionist tomorrow morning. Just go to the grocery store, pick 3 foods from this list, and make them your new standard. Throw out the toxic vegetable oil. Toss the sugary breakfast cereal. Reclaim your kitchen, and you will reclaim your biology. If this video gave you the exact blueprint you have been looking for, hit that subscribe button right now. Share this directly with a brother, a father, or a friend who needs to hear the absolute truth about aging. And click the video on your screen right now to learn the exact fasting schedule that pairs perfectly with this fuel protocol. Stay disciplined, stay sharp, and I will see you in the next one.